Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful late summer day. I think it's August 22nd today. And we are on our way into the woods. And we have to cut something I don't think I've ever cut before. We need 5 logs that are 24 feet long. So here we are at a fork in the road. Which road should we turn to? Let's go to our right-hand side. We'll leave that road for another day. Here's a little cabin that's been here for who knows how long, ever since this is a big sugaring operation. And Levi, our son, kind of took it as a little camp for himself. He had some fun with that camp. So anyways, we're headed into the woods to cut 24-foot logs. We have a Amish sawyer down the road from us that is needing 5 8x8 by 24. So he wants it cut out of white pine, so that's what we're going to try to do, and try to find 5 trees that will make nice 24-foot logs. It's about a half a mile in to where we're cutting today. So I'll enjoy the trip in, and we'll see you in a couple minutes. Oh. Este pa. Ha. Oh, yeah. Ah. Oh. There he goes. Yeah, huffing and puffing for, huh? Hey. G. Tough stuff. Ha. 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 Hip. Ha. 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 Careful. Hip. Ba. Ha. Nah. Oh, let's do a little bit. G, G, G. Catch up. G, G, G. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, how about? Oh, no. Okay guys, this is our first log tree. So this is a nice size pine. It's probably about 28-inch diameter at the butt. And I measured it up. And I'm going to end up cutting a 10-foot log right to here off the butt log, and then we'll have 24 feet up to where it tree actually stops for any valuable or usable timber. This is the mark right here. This will be 24 feet, and the guy is cutting 8x8s, so that's plenty big enough for a nice 8x8. The rest of that tree is too crooked to be used for anything, unfortunately. We have a lot of trees in here that aren't the best of quality, but there's also some really nice quality stuff, at least the first stem, which is this piece right here. So I was hoping to get a 14-foot off the butt and then 24 feet, but that did not happen. This same guy would love to have some 14-foot logs because he needs some more 1x12s for siding for his sheds that he makes. So I'm hoping that this second tree that I cut these last night, that it is going to be long enough for a 14-foot at the butt and then a 24-footer beyond that. So we'll limb this up and we'll see what we have. Okay, this tree is quite a difference from the other tree. This is quite long and good the whole length. So on this first tree, I had a 24-footer and a 10-footer, and I cut the 24-footer off there and it split just a tiny little bit. So I decided I better cut it back 2 feet. So I ended up with a 24 foot on the top log here, and then just an 8-footer, beautiful 8-footer right here. This tree here, I ended up with a 14-foot log. Oh wait, I didn't mark it because I went down here 30 or 39 feet. That's what I did. So I marked it at 39 feet, which is right here, and that gives me a 14-footer and a 24-footer. So I can take a 14-foot off the butt, and I got a pretty nice straight 24-foot log. And then we still have a 23-foot log back here, which will be cut into a 10 and a 12. So now it's just a question of how to get these out of here without causing any troubles. As you can see, we're kind of 90 degrees to the trail, which is not going to allow me to take full length stuff. So we got to cut it in such a way so we can get it out of here. That little cherry stub right there is no good, and even that maple stub up there, that little one, can be cut to allow it to swing easier. And so, but I did want to talk a little bit about this pine I'm cutting in here. This is part of a 35-acre plantation that the owner had marked back in probably the 50s and 60s. And generally, white pine has a 200-year life cycle. But I have thinned this pine out for for over 20 years. And I'm finding so much red rot at any random time that it's so frustrating. I have decided that I am going to cut all the white pine out of here, which isn't that much more. I'll show you in a second. But people have asked, well, what do you do? Do you replant? The answer to that is no. I don't want white pine to come back in here necessarily because I've had so much red rot in here. It's not the best. For some reason, the ground is not the best to grow white pine. They grow fairly good in a lot of ways. They look good, but there's red rot in them, too many of them to, I don't want to have it white pine again. And the natural tree species for this land right here is maple. And the maple would just come back in here very thick. Yes, there's other trees like beeches, which we don't really want, but there's still other hardwood species that will come in here naturally all by themselves. So just in a matter of a few years, this will just be packed with small maple saplings that will grow tall and strong, and then they will have to be thinned out later on. But as you can see down in here, we still have quite a lot more pine trees, but not that much. Off to our right, there's a whole bunch of pine in here, and they're not all perfectly straight. And I'm sure there's plenty of red rot ones, but I'm going to cut every single one of them because this is more of a salvage cut than a selective thinning cut, which is not something that most people think of when using horses. You expect it's going to be more of a, taking some of them and taking the junk and leaving the best type of thing. But I've done that for so many years, and then I come back in and cut what I thought was the best, and it's got red rot. And this is my own land, so I can do whatever I want, and it just is so much more economical to be cutting all these and dealing as this is more like a salvage cut because of the red rot. Now off to the right here, we have all red pine trees, or mostly all red pine trees. They are a little bit different story. They basically don't have red rot, maybe a little bit here and there once in a while, but basically they don't. And they're nice trees for red pine. And this is where the guy that makes utility poles, telephone poles, has come in and marked some of these, and I'll show you up at the landing where he's marked. But let's get these out of here, and then I'll talk a little bit about the red pine. So this tree here is, like I said, it's a 24-footer and then an 8-footer. So I'm going to hitch on, well, I'm already hitched on. I'm going to go skid this one up to the landing. How? Now wait. A couple step. Oh. So before I take that tree all the way to the landing, I'm going to cut a 14-foot log off this so that I can, well, actually, I'm going to look it over. I've always said and always felt that a horse logger compared to a skidder logger has to think a lot more, because we don't have the power to pull huge loads like they do. So we have to really think as to what we want to hitch on and what we're able and capable of pulling. This here, because it's back in the brush back there, there's a couple pieces that I don't really want to leave there because I'd have to get in there with a long chain. So I have two options. I can either take the butt log and go, which is a 14-footer, or I can take the 14-footer plus the 24-footer and go. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to cut a 14-foot log off here, and then I'll leave the 24-footer and the 23-footer that's left there and skid them out maybe part way and cut the 24-footer off and take that out alone and come back for the top log. So I'm going to cut this 14-footer off, and we'll do that. I guess I'll wait till I get back in here with the horses so I can get a chain on there, then I'll cut it off. I don't like cutting trees like that, and maybe when I do it, I'll explain why I don't. So at the 14-foot mark, there is 16 inches in diameter right there, which is plenty for an 8x8 down the center, and you have a lot of sideboards out of that also. So as you can see, this is quite a piece here. So we'll come up and snake this up to the landing and cut that 8-foot log off. Alright, tough stuff. Oh. Get out of the way. Okay, you don't touch that. Get out of the way. Cup step. Oh. And cup step. Oh. And cup step. Oh. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you my handle for my file. My friend from Canada, John, he made this for me. Pretty slick, huh guys? If you missed that video, he's the guy that runs the horse pull up in Williamstown, Canada, and we had a video on that a little while ago. But anyways, thanks, John. I love this handle. Okay, before we get back to logging, I want to show you some of these red pine trees that the forester, not the forester, but the log buyer came in and marked. And as you can see, these are just an example. There's 40 of them marked in this plantation and then 40 in a different plantation, and I have 5 different plantations up here. So it's going to be potentially a lot of poles here. The problem is my trucker doesn't feel comfortable enough and doesn't feel that his truck and loader will handle these 42 to 56 foot poles. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about loading. We'll have to figure that out, and it may not even happen. But anyways, as you can see, there's 4 different numbers on here. That's not an 11, that's 2 ones. So there, we got ones, we got 2s. Down here, we have 1, 3. So the different numbers represent different lengths of poles. The larger the number, like the 3, is the longer poles. So they go up to, I believe, 56 or 58 feet tall. But the number 1 I know is a 42 footer. So that's the shortest poles we have in here. And yeah, it's going to be quite a challenge to get them up this hill, up the landing, and then the next challenge would be to find a truck, which I'm actually got to do first, to find a truck that is willing to load these poles onto the tractor trailer. So we'll just have to wait and see, and I'll keep you posted on what's happening there. So anyways, let me go back and see if we can get another tree or 2 out and load up and get to the landing. Step G, G, G. Chica. Oh. Yipa. Ha. 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 Oh. There. Ha. Ha. Oh. Not bad. Ha, Bill. Ben, ha. 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 Hippa. Hip. Gillibet. Cast up. Cast up. Ha. Ha. Oh. No. No. Okay, so I have my chain on the end. And we need a 14 footer, which I'd already marked right there. So the trick to cutting this is to do it without splitting it. So I need to come up from the bottom as much as I can without pinching, and then come from the top and drop it down. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'm good with that. There's a tiny little bit of red rot right there, which I'm not surprised, but I hate. Hopefully at the end of the 24 footer, it'll still be good, or even better. A lot of times it does this. It's the red rot is not at the butt. It comes up 10, 12 feet and then it turns into red rot for just a little ways. At least it just starts red rot. It's just barely red rot. It's not even, it's more just the color right now. But eventually it will turn into real rot. So let's hitch onto this 14 footer, run this up, come back and grab the 24 footer. Ha. Ha, 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 tipa, ha, oh, number, oh. No. Okay, so here we are back in to grab this. Let me think here, 24 and 23, so what's that? 47 feet long piece of wood. And I know, I'm almost certain, I can't get it completely out of here because it's going to bind between trees and stumps. But I want to get it a little ways so I can cut it off so I don't have to back in my brush quite so much to get onto that top piece. But these are one of those situations where it's so easy to go and the cart will get flipped over because of the angle of everything. So I am going to drive on the ground and I'm going to try to hold Bill as close to that stump up there as possible and see if we can get, even if we can get, you know, 20 feet, I'd be very happy with that. So let's see how it goes. I catch that. Oh! Bye. Oh, good boys. Ho, ho, ho. So that worked perfect. Now I'm just going to get my chain on the last log and cut this in half. No red rot showing here at all, so hopefully that red rot will clear up really fast and that log should make a fine 8x8 for my customer and for his customer. Nice down. Oh, nice pa. Oh. C'est pas. Careful. Well guys, that mistake could have cost me my chainsaw. But all is well. It's just one of those things that happens. We just don't like to show those things. Anyways, this will be a good one for another 24 footer, I'm pretty sure. Up there, G, le bon. Oh, oh. Back, back, back. Back up here. Back up here. Back. Back up here. Oh, oh. Careful, stay out. Careful. Oh. Oh. So guys, we have two 24-footers on here, two 12s, and a 10-footer. So the total comes up to 1,155. So I'm happy with that. Yesterday I came up out of here with almost 1,300 feet, but we're not trying to win a horse pull here today. We're just trying to put logs out. So we'll get this up the hill and get it over to the sawmill this afternoon. Cuffs out. Ja. Well, this is it for today's video, guys. I hope you had a great day and enjoyed the video. We shall see you next time.